Welcome to the second episode of The War Report, the only Magic the Gathering and retro gaming podcast that made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs. This is your host, Michael Gunner.
Jason Mathis.
Adam Tatum.
Lyle Smith.
And Kyle Bonifacius.
Alright, so for those of you that watched last week, you know we were a video podcast. Now we're going to be going a different direction and making this exclusive to iTunes with just a podcast. Alright, so we've got a new segment this week. It's kind of going to be what's been going on at the store. So I'm just going to start out here with Jason. Man, what's been going on at the store this week?
Man, we've bought a lot of collections. We've been doing a lot of card sorting. We had some cool board games come in. As always, we always have a lot of good Nintendo, NES, Super NES type stuff come in. Mainly, though, is the card sorting. That's what we've been doing a lot of this week. And we've actually had people in the store helping out with it. Other than that, I mean, that's the gist of the whole week, really. Is card sorting, getting things ready for people to come in. And if you want to purchase something specifically, we can get it for you, within a few seconds of you asking for it.
But I mean, it takes up so much time, though. Like, there's 10, 20 boxes of those cards back there with just random everything in it that all need to go in specific boxes. It's going to look messy for a while in there, but once we get it done, it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I would say there's no doubt that in the upcoming months, I mean, all of our customers are going to be able to, if not go online, come in the store, ask what they are looking for, and get it in their hands in 5 minutes or less. I mean, that's really what we're shooting for here.
Yeah.
Because really, what's the point of having those cards in the back if you can't go find them, right?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
All right, so as Jason mentioned, we've got a lot of new board games in stock. That's one thing that we're really trying to start carrying a lot more of. One of those that's new, released this week, is the Ascension Rise of the Vigil. Well, for those of y'all that aren't that familiar with what Ascension is, it's a deck building game in which players acquire cards from a central pool, then place those cards in their discard pile to be shuffled into their deck for later use. Creatures show up in the shared card pool and players can combat them to earn victory points, and possibly other benefits, such as the ability to remove less useful cards from their deck or banish cards to the pool that others might find useful. The game ends once all available victory points have been claimed or the shared deck of cards runs out. So Lyle knows a lot about Ascension, so how about you just kind of fill us in on what you like about this game, what you don't like?
Well, I mean, to put that, I mean, it's really great because unlike something like Magic, it's a one-time purchase where you have it, some friends split it, you own it together, and it's a one-time purchase that you can play with the stuff in the box. There's no, while there are extra stuff to buy, what you buy in that box will let you play the game all day long, every day. It's deck building. Everybody starts out the same way. You acquire new cards, you cast new spells, fight new monsters, and it leads to a good variety in games. It's a fun time.
The great thing about Ascension, for all you Magic players out there, it was designed by Magic players. A lot of the artwork is done by artists that do Magic the Gathering artwork.
Yeah, and this is a game that every time we've had it, we've sold out. So it is popular. We want to start carrying it more. If it's something that you think you're interested in and you don't see it in our store, always be sure to ask any one of us, and we'll try to get you on the next order for it when it does become available. So the next game I want to move on to is the Marvel Legendary deck building game that we got in stock. Now, all these games are going to be pretty similar in how they work. This one's from anywhere to 1 to 5 players, in which, it uses characters from the Marvel Universe. So, if you're kind of burnt out on the whole knights and dragons fighting each other, maybe this is kind of the one that you need. It comes with a number of hero decks: Spider-Man, Hulk, Cyclops, Wolverine, and others. You shuffle them all together. Since players use only a handful of hero decks out of the 15 included, the hero deck can vary widely in terms of availability. Players then choose a mastermind villain: Magneto, Loki, Doctor Doom. They stack those particular villain attack cards underneath it, then modify the villain deck as needed based on the villain's particular scheme. So this is a pretty interesting game, is how it runs. I mean, how do you think that's different from Ascension for those that play that?
It seems like it works a lot like Ascension and a lot like the DC Comics card game, but until I play it, I really don't know. It looks like it's a lot of fun though, and You know, just like any deck building game, you're probably gonna start out with the same amount of cards as each other player and just build your deck how you go. And so you have a lot of freedom and choice as to how you build a deck. There'll probably be expansions for it later. I think I've heard something about that. Didn't you say something about that, Lyle? Maybe expansions for that?
It was for the DC game actually. They've built it. The engine on which the card game runs is designed in such a way where any new sets that come out can be attached to it. So right now the DC game interlocks with, for example, the Lord of the Rings board game, which we also have in stock. So you can have your Superman fighting alongside Frodo.
Okay, that's cool.
Very cool. I think that comes in at like $44.99, and we do have that in stock along with the DC game that is just like this Marvel one in stock as well. A couple other board games we do want to mention is we have the Resident Evil deck building game as well as the Walking Dead deck building game. Now, I'm not too familiar with the Resident Evil, but I know the Walking Dead is pretty cool. As popular as that TV show is, I know it kind of takes place from the first season, but it's a show that we all love. So what's so good about that one?
I think it's a good time. Really, it's really neat in that when players die in the game, they become zombies and switch teams. So it starts out as a 4-person race for survival, but becomes a team-based, let's kill those humans right now before they survive, which is family fun, really.
So is it a card game or is it a board game?
It's a board game. Actually, a few Magic players might find interesting. The board game is actually a playmat too, so you get some double mileage out of that. Some of the Resident Evil deck building game as well, incidentally. It's a giant playmat you play the game on. So
Yeah.
those zombie games and their utilities for other card games are just fantastic.
Yeah, we played the Resident Evil game a while back, didn't we? It was pretty fun.
It was fun.
It's kind of card building / boardy game kind of things. I don't know. I mean, it was different. It wasn't so much like Ascension or the DC deck building game, which I played a lot. I played by myself, unfortunately. Resident Evil is totally different. It is a card game, I guess you could say, but there's like a different kind of goal with it.
Yeah, it's imagine, if you ever play the games, imagine you're RE4, you're going, the board game represents that guy in the purple's cloak, you're buying your items to fight the zombies with, and then the zombies come up and try to murder you, and you gotta shoot them in the face before they get to you.
Yeah.
Very cool, very cool. Alright, so that pretty much covers our board game segment this week. We do want to let you know that we do have all these in stock. If there is anything you're looking for that you see on the internet, please don't order it offline. Check with us first. Make sure we can get that for you. We will do our best to give you the best price possible. So let's go ahead and move on to the video game segment of this podcast. This is something that our store puts a lot of time and money into. We really, really try to carry everything from the original Nintendo forward. So, I guess the best thing that's being our first podcast is just trying to figure out, what all you nerds are playing and kind of, what is your favorite game of all time? Start with you, Jason.
My favorite game of all time is probably Zelda. Currently, I'm playing EverQuest 2 a lot, though. But speaking of Zelda, I mean, it's sort of, it's an adventure game. I'm sure most people have played it.
Which one?
The first one.
Okay.
The original gold cartridge.
Not the second one?
No, I mean, the second one was tough. I couldn't get into it. But the first one was fun. It's an adventure type game. You collect items, you go through dungeons and do all that sort of thing and kill bosses. It's really hard. I never beat it as a kid. I've always kind of wanted to beat it, but never really had time to. Maybe I'll go back and give it another shot, though. What do you think, Tatum?
Either Final Fantasy 3 or Final Fantasy 7. It's kind of a toss-up there of favorites of all time. Those are the best two Final Fantasy games out there, in my opinion. As far as what I'm playing right now, I'm kind of on a retro kick. We have a product called the Dual Retro Portable, where you play it. It's a handheld portable. You can play NES or Super NES on that. And I'm kind of on a kick on the retro right now, so I'm playing some games from my childhood right now, like the Final Fantasy 3 and stuff like that on the retro portable.
Wow.
As far as a favorite game of all time, I think just for sheer fun and getting a bunch of guys together playing, it'd be Smash Brothers, man. Smash Brothers, you got the whole Nintendo roster there to work with, and it's the best game. Just kick back and smash face Pikachu with. I mean, really, where do you get that?
Well, you get that in our store because we have the system set up.
That's true. Every day.
So you can come in and play Smash Brothers. Is it Brawl or Melee?
It's Okay, Melee.
You can play Smash Brothers Melee in our store every day, all day, as long as you want. It's
Take on all comers too.
Yeah,
So come on, bring it on.
Lyle is apparently really good at this game, so come challenge Lyle to a game of Smash Brothers.
As far as what I'm playing right now, though, about midway through Bioshock Infinite, and I gotta say that game is definitely deserving of all the praise it's gotten so far. Like it's far and away one of the best games I've played in a while. It's tops, and once I beat it, it'll be on our shelves. I promise you that. So look for that. What about you, Mike?
For me, it's a no question tie between The Illusion of Gaia and Super Metroid. There is without a doubt that I think those are the two best games ever made for the Super Nintendo. Now, I'm sure there's people out there that are going to say that that's ludicrous for me to even say, but
That's ludicrous.
Illusion of Gaia, when I was a child, I got it for Christmas. You know, it came with a T-shirt. It was this, long RPG, and that was something that I was really unfamiliar with as being a kid. You know, you pop in Mario, you play it for 5 minutes. But here was this game that I got a strategy guide and this T-shirt for. You know, back in the early 90s, late 80s, you didn't have video game clothing. So to me, I took this game on and played it all the way through, without the internet, mind you. And then, of course, like I said, Super Metroid is just...
Maybe without the internet, but I hear you had your mother help you with Zelda.
Oh, yeah. If it wasn't for Mom, I would have never got through Zelda. I got the luxury of beating Zelda as a kid. When you have to play the flute to shrink the giant eyeball down. See, I couldn't figure that out as a kid. I just kept hitting it with different instruments, the candle, the whatever. And she said, well, play that flute. And I'm like, that ain't going to work, Mom. And lo and behold, that eyeball shrinks down and you kill it, like, instantly. So, yeah, without my help of my mom, changed my life.
Good old Gloria.
That's right.
And strategy guides.
My favorite game of all time. It's kind of a toughie because I play so much. Final Fantasy X, however, I would say is my favorite game of all time. This group is surrounded by a bunch of RPG junkies, so I kind of fit the mold when it comes to that, I would say. Final Fantasy X is amazing. It was one of those games that kind of broke the mold on the PS2 with like high definition graphics, the cutscenes, stuff like that. Adam, I know you play 10, so...
I play 10. The only good thing about 10 would be either the Blitzball, but 3 and 7 is definitely where it's at. I mean, come on now.
And that's where we find our difference, and that's okay. 10 is mine, and of course this year 10 is going to get a remake for the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation Vita, which is sweet. And hopefully we will be carrying those on our shelves so you guys can find that stuff. But right now I just finished up Tomb Raider, so that's kind of a clutch game being in the gaming industry right now. That game is awesome. Your Lara Croft, she is a little on the attractive side. As always, blasting people with arrows and shotguns and whatnot. And of course, it still has your dungeon crawling elements of Tomb Raider where you get to find the loot here and there. But it's a solid action game, and definitely recommend that up. And I know for a fact you can find that on our shelves as well.
All right, so there's all our favorite games. Now let's just kind of talk a little bit about what we've got in the store right now for you customers. So we were sold out of the Retro Duos for a little while, and if you don't know what that is a system that plays both Nintendo and Super Nintendo, which is pretty cool. It comes with 2 controllers in the box. They're $65, which might sound like a lot, but believe it or not, those Nintendos and Super Nintendos come out to around $60 a piece. So you get 2 systems in one for about the same price as one. We've got a lot of rare games in stock right now. I know we've got a lot of collectors that come in looking for stuff. One that I always have to mention that never ever comes in. We've been doing this for a long time, and we finally got our hands on a copy of Chrono Trigger. We've got multiple copies of Zombies Ate My Neighbors, which is a classic. Link to the Past always seems to find its way off the shelves faster than it can get put on it, so we've got that in stock right now.
We have one copy of
One copy.
So come out and get it if you want it.
All our prices are competitive with the internet. We do check eBay and Amazon for those, so essentially all you're doing is just saving on shipping and getting it today. So certainly before you go out to buy those games, come in and check us out here at the Battlegrounds. To transition a little bit from old stuff, we have tons and tons of new stuff. We put a lot of effort into keeping competitive with GameStop at the Battlegrounds. We do have multiple copies of Black Ops 2 on PS3 and Xbox.
And Assassin's Creed 3.
Assassin's Creed 3, Halo 4, all the games that came out around Christmas now, we're fully stocked up on. Some of the newer stuff that we have in stock right now, Tomb Raider, Dead Space 3, and I think we're soon going to start having BioShock Infinite roll-in. So
You're welcome.
Yeah, so you're going to want to check up on that. You know, like I said, all our prices are going to be cheaper than Walmart, GameStop, Target, etc. Come to us first and get it and save a few bucks.
Not only do we have Dead Space 3, we have Dead Space 1. If you've never played any of the Dead Space series and you want to start out from the beginning, I know we have it on PS3. I don't think we have it on 360 right now, but we get stuff in like that all the time, so always check back with us.
And not to mention for all our handheld players out there, the exclusive library we have for the DS games, the
Vita games.
not Vista, Vita games, and not to mention our old stuff like the advanced games and the Game Boy Color games, and even back to original Game Boy.
Yeah, we do have a lot of Pokemon games.
All the Pokemon you could want.
All right, so now let's get to the topic that I know we all really, really love talking about, and that's going to be Magic the Gathering. We've had such an awesome response these last couple months with Magic just taking off in our store. There is no doubt that we can't hide that we're slowly becoming a Magic the Gathering superstore compared to what we used to be, which is just a place to kind of come buy packs. So I guess the first thing last month we had the F&M prize of our Zelda Nintendo.
Who won that?
That was given out to Daniel Brown.
Alright.
Oddly enough, he has a Zelda tattoo already. We did not know this ahead of time, but on his chest, he has a Zelda tattoo.
Very fitting.
He was
very deserving.
He was very excited when we announced that he won that.
So, for those of y'all that don't know, every F&M that you come to, you get entered in one entry into a monthly prize that we give away. This was just kind of something we wanted to do to show appreciation of you guys coming out and supporting our store. Like I've always said, we couldn't be here without you. So next month, for the month of April. Yeah, April is going to be from the Vault Realms. We sell these at $89.99. So this is a pretty solid price to take home for free. There's some great cards in there: Ancient Tomb, Maze of Ith,
Drive over.
Desert.
Desert, yes.
It's the best card in it.
Nobody loves Desert.
And you get entered into this by playing our weekly F&M. So for every F&M you play in April, you get an entry. So if you play in all 4 weeks in April, you will have 4 entries to win this.
So come on out, man, and play F&M with us. All you guys and girls, I know we have a few girls that play, which is awesome.
Would you like to talk about our format we do for F&Ms?
All right, yeah, for F&M, we have this unique setup that it's because we start at 6:30. We are on a little bit of a time constraint. For every round you win in F&M, you win a pack of your choice. So,
How much
if you
does it
go,
cost?
it's $5 to get in. You win. There's 3 rounds. You win all 3 rounds. You're essentially getting 3 packs for $5. It supports a casual atmosphere. If you're debating if there's a deck you want to play, you don't have to worry about coming out and going 1-2 and scrubbing out. You still get something for your money, which is kind of nice. And it allows people to not always play those just top tier decks. It kind of gives you that, I want to try this deck that, isn't too good. But, it's only $5 and maybe you'll walk away even with 1 pack. $5 for 1 pack. Granted, it's more than retail, but if you win 2 packs, you're at a discount rate right there. So.
And what is the F&M promo for April?
It is Call of the Conclave.
Ugh.
It's pretty cool art though. I was cool with the art.
The card itself is not that bad. I was talking about this the other day with somebody.
It really isn't. It's what is it? 2 for 3?
Yeah, it's Watch Wolf in token form, which is super relevant right now.
It's like a super bear.
But the art on this card, I am not a fan. I think if they had done it in reverse, I think if the Therese Nelson art that's on the card now currently would have been the promo, would have been, this is sweet, but it's a little weird.
Populates, right? Is it Populate?
No, it's a Watch Wolf.
Oh, okay.
3/3 for 2.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think what hurts the card the most is the fact that you can only cast it at sorcery speed. So, whereas if you had a card like Rapid Hybridization, that card is in instant speed for a 3/3. So
yeah, you could kill your own creature and get a 3/3,
Yeah.
and you could destroy your Avacyn's Pilgrim and bust out a 3/3.
So we can fairly say that the April's F&M promo is not as good as last month's
Oh,
Farseek
yeah,
goes.
no.
But they can't all be Farseeks,
That's true.
They can. The Farseeks did look really good though.
All right, Michael, what else you got for us?
All right, so you know our Legacy and Modern showcase is getting bigger and better every week. Rarely does the vintage portion of that showcase get better, but we now have 5 of the Power 9 in stock. And
The Power 9!
Pretty amazing.
if you're unfamiliar with what the Power 9 is, you know, these were the so-called greatest 9 most powerful cards made for the Alpha Beta Unlimited set. They include the Black Lotus, Mox Jet, Mox Emerald, Mox Ruby, Mox Sapphire, Mox Pearl, Time Twister, Time Walk, and Ancestral Recall.
Which ones do we have?
We have the Recall, the Time Walk, Mox Emerald, Mox Ruby, Mox Pearl, and...
Emerald? Did you already say Emerald?
No, we don't have the Emerald. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we did.
It's Emerald, Ruby, Pearl, Time Walk, Ancestral that we have.
We talking Pokemon games now? What's happening?
Huh?
We do have all those in stock.
Also, Pokemon Emerald is what? No, never mind.
But this is the Magic category, not the video
Yeah,
game
this-
category.
Mike got confused. It's fine.
So yeah, we've
Cut
got all those in stock for those that are interested. You know, they're kind of pricey, but you know they're collector's pieces.
Very cool.
All right, so we want to touch on, you know, we got our allocation numbers for Dragon's Maze. We are going to have plenty of this for you guys, so we certainly encourage pre-sale. Those are going to be $100 a box, and that's never going to change. We don't want to price gouge on our prices. You know, like we said earlier, we appreciate you guys, so you're always going to be able to get that $100 price point on a box of Dragon's Maze.
Come in and pre-order those as soon as you can. We don't want to run out. I'm sure we will eventually run out, so go ahead and get those pre-ordered as soon as possible.
And you know, don't forget that if you do pre-order, that does qualify you for a box topper promo that we don't know what it is yet, but that's the only way you're going to get that. So if you're...
Actually, we know the name.
Oh, what is
It
it?
is Render Silent.
Okay, so Render Silent is going to be your box topper promo. We don't have a clue what it does, but they're usually good. You know, in the past you had Birds of Paradise, Gravecrawler, Restoration Angel, so let's just assume that's going to be a good card.
Also Night Vale Spectre, but we won't talk about that.
Silverblade Paladin.
yeah.
Silverblade Paladin is a good one.
So you know, like, if you've got that extra money, okay, let me put it this way. If you're going to be buying a Dragon's Maze box, do it now so you can get on that box topper. Alright, so we got our numbers also on Modern Masters. Now this is a set that has kind of been kept quiet. No one knows too much about it. What I can tell you about it is that the set contains 229 cards. The release date is June 7th, 2013. The price on these are going to be $6.99 a pack. We've been released 2 cards that we know are going to be in it, and that is Tarmogoyf and City of Brass.
Who doesn't love Tarmogoyf?
Who doesn't?
I'm
love
not a
that-
big fan of
that
Tarmogoyf.
green and white
You're
guy.
not a big fan of
It's
Tarmogoyf?
currently a $120 card, so who doesn't love it?
I'm a big fan of Tarmogoyf.
So for those of y'all, this is going to be a kind of small set. Contains reprints from 8th edition through Alara Reborn. And you know, this set's kind of made because Wizards is really wanting to push the modern format, and they know that there's not enough cards out there to support that.
Which you can tell by them doing, you know, Return to Ravnica and giving us the new Shocklands again. So everybody can kind of get their Shocklands. Get into Modern, especially with this Modern Master series, you're going to be able to get all those hard to find older cards that really support this format.
Now my big argument on Modern Masters is that I think, yes, they're reprinting a lot of these cards. You know, there's going to be more Tarmogoyfs made available. However, I don't think it's going to change the fact that Tarmogoyf's still going to be hard to find. With this set, there are 24 packs per box. Let's just assume there's 1 Tarmogoyf per box. Well, it being a short product run set, I guess it's fair to say that the popularity of Modern is going to go up, while is going to go up significant, while the print run of this set is only going to bring up the availability of these cards marginally. So I still think it's going to be very, very hard to get these cards.
Do we know if we're going to be able to get more cards, or is it only 1 print run?
I would say at best 2 print runs. After that, I'm going to say that's going to be it. If this is something that you really, really want, you're going to be looking at pre-ordering at $165 a box.
Well, I would say you're not going to be guaranteed a Tarmogoyf per box, just due to the fact that there's 24 packs in a box, and there's how many rares? 54 rares in the set?
Something like that, roundabout.
Compare it with something like, like Dark Ascension, where it's a small set with 8 mythics, and even then, how many boxes I've opened those without busting Huntsmaster?
Are they going to have mythics in this set as well? Or
Tarmogoyf is reprinted as a mythic.
Okay, well there you go. Now you know Tarmogoyf is a mythic, not a rare, so you'll be chasing that guy pretty hardcore.
So yeah, like I said, you're gonna want, if you're considering pre-ordering Modern Masters, it's going to be the time to do it. That list is going to fill up quickly. So $165 a box is going to secure you a box when it comes in.
Then in addition, we're going to be doing Modern Masters drafts while we have the supplies for it. It's, it is a pricier set, so it'll be $25 a draft, but that's with prize support. And this is going to be the way you're going to get those cards. These sets are designed to be draftable. They've already said you're going to be playing Fairies versus Storm versus Jund. It's going to be a fun environment.
Awesome. Okay, so another segment we're going to introduce this weekend is going to be the rumor mill. So this week's topic for the rumor mill is, what card would you like to see printed in Modern Masters? So let's start with you, Tatum.
I would have to say, as the aggro player, I would definitely have to say Goblin Pile Driver. He's not readily available anymore. Being an Onslaught, and Goblins being a very popular deck, in Legacy and stuff like that. So I would like to see him reprinted, so the availability for Goblins is back out there.
You are naturally a red player, though, aren't you?
Of course.
You do play red a lot. My card I want to see reprinted is Bob. If you don't know what Bob means, I'm talking about Dark Confidant. He's awesome. He's a black creature for like a black and 1. I think he's a 2/1 if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. You get to draw a card and take damage equal to its casting cost, which is sick. It's a staple card, especially in Modern and Legacy.
Well, I'm a big EDH player. I think everybody at the store knows that already, and I'm down for whatever kind of junk. Whatever the junk rares of Modern Masters are, I'm down with it. What I'm really interested in is stuff like, Thoughtseize, Inquisition of Kozilek, those commons and uncommons that have started creeping up in the really high dollar range. Little stuff like that's going to really bring the format down in price, make it more accessible.
I've got a couple on my list that I would like to see. I mean, clearly I think everybody knows I've always been a big collector, and I like the high price money cards and love having these collections that are worth tons and tons of money. But there is no doubt that a card like Noble Hierarch does not need to be $30. It is a card that is going to be, it's ran 4 of, it's in a lot of decks. It's similar to how can Knight of the Reliquary be $10 and Noble Hierarch be $30 when they're from the same block and they're both in the rare category? How can there be that much difference in their price? Noble Hierarch needs to be a $10 card, so... Alright, so this week we're introducing all kinds of new stuff into this podcast. That's why it's 30 minutes now to our normal 10. A new section we got going on is a very, very special and unique
60 Seconds with Lyle and Kyle.
Hey, Lyle. Wait, no, that's me.
Hey, Kyle.
Yeah,
oh,
no,
wait, that's me.
We're all kinds of wrong. Anyway,
I'm Kyle.
I'm Lyle.
And this is our 60 seconds. So ready to go. We're talking about Reanimator. It is the deck that is played in almost every tournament, and it's surprisingly the deck that decimates. I got you.
yeah. It's fantastic. But more specifically, talking about what is the big creature you want to be reanimating right now? Kyle, what do you think? Who are you casting?
Raider Hoof Behemoth. He is an absolute beast. And you're gonna argue that?
I'm gonna argue that.
What are you gonna argue with?
Because Crater Hoof Behemoth, when you bring him back, if you don't have a bunch of little guys, he's no good. He's just a 5. He's a 6/6.
He's gonna swing immediately. He's the
For
haster.
6 though.
He's the haster Chapin.
Now what you want
What do you
is
want?
a giant flying demon that gains life and draws cards.
Is that Grizzlebrand?
It's Grizzlebrand, in fact.
Yeah, we can go back and forth on this. They're both two awesome creatures that go in this deck. Both can be played well in Reanimator. It's what's being played. I say Crater Hoof.
I say you're wrong.
Alright, thanks a lot on Kyle. They sure do know how to keep things lively.
And look good doing it.
I agree.
Alrighty, so we just want to go over real quick as we wrap things up with our tournament schedule. As we changed it a couple weeks ago, well, we're kind of changing it again on you guys. We're seeing what you like, what you don't like. So Monday and Tuesdays, we don't do anything. We kind of give you time to recover from
Go outside.
Like 5 days. Yeah, go outside. The weather's getting nice. Wednesdays at 6 o'clock, we have a $5 standard. with the prize pool being equal to how many people are playing. Thursday, we do $12 drafts with prize support. F&M on Friday, $5 entry, 1 pack per round win.
Plus, don't forget the monthly F&M giveaway. Don't forget about that.
Absolutely.
And the awesome F&M promo.
Good deal, good
Debatable.
deal. So Saturdays, this is the big day we're changing up. You know, we've kind of been trying to figure out what do we need to do on Saturday. People like to play, they're off of work, but it's hard to find something that everyone wants to do. So we're going to continue with what we did this week, which is that win-a-box format. For every 10 players that play, we will add a box to the, or 36 packs essentially, to the prize pool. So the first week of every month will be standard. The second will be EDH. Third, legacy. And fourth, modern. Those are going to be the 4 formats that we're wanting to do for this win-a-box. If anything changes, you know, we'll let you know, but that's kind of what we're going to go with now. We certainly want legacy and modern to exist. Me personally, I love those formats, playing with those old cards, so it's a great option, you know, to have those available to play. And then of course Sunday we will always do our $75 free roll, free entry, and $50 to first and $25 to second. And I don't want to forget to mention our super payout series that we started. You know, this is a tournament that once a month we will be doubling the free roll prize up to $150 store credit, and the winner of that tournament will qualify for our end of the year super payout series invitational. This tournament will take place in December, I believe on the 29th. The prize payout will be around $500 store credit, and we're really excited to bring that to you guys.
And speaking of once a month, it's $150. If we get more than 30 players, we will increase that prize.
Yeah, it's $5 to get into that one to potential of $150. That's not a bad. It's not a bad payout at all.
No.
You know, even if there's even if 20 players show up, we're still going to give out 150. You know,
Even if 8 players show up, we'll go 150.
they're going to give out 150. You know, anything over 30 players, that we're going to add to that store credit that we're going to give out on that Sunday tournament. And not to mention, you'll get entered into the end of year tournament where you will win over $500 in prizes and store credit.
Hooray! Woo! All right, guys. As we're wrapping things up here, we do want to mention this loyalty program that started this week.
What's
So-
up with that?
So, you know, like I've always said, we would not be a store without you guys. Everything that you do for us, you know, when you decide to come into our store to buy something instead of going online, that's what helps keeps our lights on and the doors open. So we can't thank you enough for that. So one thing we are offering to our customers now is to become part of our loyalty program. It's $20 up front. That's going to get you 10% off of all pre-owned product in the store. That includes Magic singles, pre-owned systems, pre-owned games. You will also get $5 instantly loaded onto your loyalty program card. So you can effectively look at that as a $15 investment to save 10% the rest of the year. You really can't beat that if you're looking to build a Magic deck. I mean, after you spend $150, that's your money back right there.
200.
200.
Yeah.
Well, somewhere there.
It's 200 because the 200 paid the 10% on the 200 pays for the 20 on the card plus 5 back, so you're actually saving $5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you make your money back.
Yeah, 150.
Easily.
And that's just our way of thanking you guys, you know, for shopping with us and staying loyal to us, because we really wouldn't be here without you guys. So with that being said, this podcast has been brought to you by the Battlegrounds Games and Movies, the Tri-State region's #1 source for retro gaming and Magic the Gathering. And the only podcast that has 4 incredibly good-looking guys and 1 really ugly one. This is Michael Gunner.
Jason Mathis.
Adam Tatum, where Blitzball is not better.
Lyle Smith.
And Kyle Bonifacius for Adam Tatum is wrong.
Be sure to tune in 2 weeks when we have our next War Report, whatever this is called.
Round table.
Round table.
Round table.
We appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Woo!